Most villages in India, doctors didn't go into these villages, obviously. They were too poor. They couldn't make money, but the healers of the village were always typically women. Now, my grandmother had learned the science of Siddha, which was still kept by different yogis. And so she could observe your face, and then she could determine. So on a weekend, typically people would line up and she would look at people's face. And then she would figure out what was wrong with them. It was called Samudrika Lakshanam. There's actually a huge book written on this from ancient texts. And based on that, there's a whole system of, there's a very, very deep system of understanding the body. So if you look at this, at the bottom, the concept of Purusha was unmanifest energy, which was essentially thought, unmanifest. And when that gave rise to Prakriti, which is everything we see around us, energy was known as these systems here. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but ultimately you have matter, which gave rise to the aspects of matter, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, which were in every tissue in your body, right? And that gave rise to the kosha, which was your physical body. Now, in the Indian system, the physical body wasn't just a physical body. It included the mind, the senses, but we also had energy centers known as chakras. So this was Indian medicine, Indian philosophy, Indian science, right? So my grandmother could understand that, look at the body, and then she would determine a person's constitution in their tissues, how much Vata, Pitta, or Kapha they had. And each one of us, obviously, is composed of different types of these constitutive elements. So each person was personalized, right? So when she looked at someone, she would say, oh, this person has this constitution. And then for that person, she would give them specific interventions, right? It could either be medicine, it could be massage, it could be sound healing, mantras, etc., right? So today we call this personalized medicine, okay? Only in the last 20 years has Western medicine realized that we should have personalized medicine, right? That the concept of giving everyone the same medicine for the quote unquote the same disease doesn't make sense. Well, traditional systems of medicine, be it Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, I'm sure Indonesian medicine, had these concepts for thousands of years. So I saw her, heal people, right? In this very personalized way. But I also was aware of the caste system. So as a child, so you can imagine the circumstances I grew up under. Here I see this woman with no degrees, tattoos all over her arms, healing people in a very loving environment. But I also grew up with this understanding there was this horrific thing called the caste system, right? Where, and by the way, people traditionally dress like this, right? But there's this very clear hierarchy.